Good evening. Please stand for the pledge to flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We're going to start with the approval of the minutes. So can I have a motion approving the March 25th, 2026 minutes of the regular meeting of the town board?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue. And Robert, would you second?
Second.
Thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. And we had bid openings. So Owego Road over Tracy Creek Bridge replacement bids were opened on 3/27/26 at 2 p.m. in the town boardroom. Town clerk Deborah Wallace opened the sealed bids. The first one was R. DeVincentis. Okay, I'm sorry. DeVincentis. I practiced too, and it didn't work. Construction Incorporated, and that was $2,054,000. The second one was Wing Construction Services, and that was $2,308,699. And the third one is JP Dugan Construction LLC, and that was $2,157,111.68. And the fourth one was Betty and Cringe LLC, and that's $2,147,034. And the fifth one was Vector Construction Corporation, and that was $2,213,215.09. So those were all the bids, and the lowest bidder then is. We haven't awarded it yet. Okay, well, those were the ones that were submitted. So then we're going to move on. So we don't have any public hearings for this evening, but I do have some supervisor updates. The first one is a reminder about the landlord registry. It now is on the website. So if you have a rental property, if you're the owner of a rental property in Vestal, it doesn't cost anything, but you must register the rental property. So please just go to the website. It's now a fill-in form. And notices will be going out, fingers crossed, tomorrow. So if you get a notice in the mail that your location you have been identified as the owner of a rental property, and that is not the case, there is also a negative declaration. So you can go to the website and say, no, it isn't. Either it's misclassified or I'm not using it for that. But please understand that whatever you submit to us, we try to make it as easy as possible. It is an official submission and you must tell the truth. Okay. So, just look at its nice and simple form. So please submit it if you have a rental property. There is no fee associated, but you must register. Otherwise, there will be escalating fines. So, newsletter. So the newsletter had a little glitch yesterday. So it got fixed last night. I fixed it last night. And I sent it out clean this morning again. So if you signed up for the free newsletter, look at the second version because that's the one that works the best. There's 10 new articles on there, a lot about the summer, some about different topics, new projects. There's a lot of new stuff on there, so please take a look at it, take some time to read it. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, you can go right to the website. It's free, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Also, I want to remind everybody, and there's an article on the website as well, there are positions available in the Board of Assessment Review, the Zoning Board as an alternate, and Planning Board as an alternate. So if you're interested in any of those positions, please go to the website and that will give you more information, and you just email us and tell us why and what qualifications you have. They are basically volunteer positions. So please, but you can find out more information if you're interested at all. And I said, sorry, somebody else is going to make that announcement. And then, and I also want to remind everybody who is a senior and has the senior exemption. Every year it must be renewed. So if you have not renewed it for this year, please go to the assessor's office. The deadline is April 15th, and you have to submit proof of income for 2024. So you can call the assessor's office. You can go to the website. There's information there that gives you the phone number and the address. or you can go in person. Either way, they will help you out, but please get that in or else you will automatically get taken off the list and you're going to lose your exemption. If you know of somebody who might have difficulty getting to the assessor's office, because maybe they have a mobility issue or something of the sort, please let us know. If you go to the website, you can call us and let us know, and we will reach out to that person and make sure they get squared away and that they get their exemption as they're entitled to. With that, we're going to move on to the privilege of the floor, which is the first section of the public comment section. Now, this is just for agenda items. There's a second section at the end of the agenda for general town topics, but this is just for agenda items. So we always take residents before non-residents, and it's for agenda items only. And I just want to remind everybody of the rules. So every speaker must only speak regarding town business, be respectful of all elected officials, town employees, members of the audience, and all other persons. We don't allow personal attacks, and we ask that you wait to be recognized, state your name and address before speaking, speak at the podium, and speak for no more than 3 minutes. Be brief and to the point. Address comments to the board only, and only speak during the designated public comment section. So would any resident like to speak about an agenda item? Okay. Would any non-resident like to speak about an agenda item? Okay. So we don't have any resolutions or motions now, so we're going to go to Public Works. So Matt?
Public Works 8.1, resolution for town board approval to retroactively implement the mayor's monarch pledge.
Thank you. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Robert. And seconded?
Second.
Thank you, Sue. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. And it's finance, Sue?
Okay, 9.1, resolution for the town board to approve payment in the amount of $1,846 to Coughlin and Gerhart LLP for outside counsel fees for services rendered through February 28, 2026. The services are as follows: $1,846, O'Malley Aaron, Article 78, number 2.
Thank you. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Glenn, and seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert, and discussion. So were you able to go over it, Dan?
Yeah, I have the bill. This is an appeal. This is an appeal before the third department and 8.9 hours of attorney time. So it's the agreed upon rate.
Okay. So it's good?
It's
Well, it's not good, but, you know.
Well, it's approved from,
It's accurate. Okay, so with that, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, it's carried.
Okay, 9.2, resolution approving the retention of the Honorable Ferris D. Levis pursuant to his engagement letter to serve as hearing officer in a proceeding held under New York Civil Service Law, Section 75.
Thank you. Can I have a motion? Thank you, Glenn, and seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hmm.
And it's carried.
9.3, resolution to authorize the town supervisor to retroactively sign a $300,000 SAM grant application for the construction and restoration of the carousel.
Thank you. And can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Robert, and seconded?
Second.
Thank you, Matt. Any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, it's carried.
9.4, resolution for retroactive approval to apply for a local government records management improvement fund, LGR MIF grant through New York State Archives to digitize documents for the code and engineering departments at no expense to the town.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Matt, and seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion? Okay, I just want to remind everybody that we talk about every item on Mondays. So it's been discussed. It's just that we've asked any questions, gotten any information by this point. So this is why it goes so quick on Wednesdays. But if you ever have any input on agenda items, definitely come to the Monday sessions because that's when we're still thinking and talking about it and looking for information as well. So with that, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. It's carried. And Sue, did you have anything for personnel?
No, I'll do it under committee chair.
Okay, thanks. And planning and zoning, Robert?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. And then public safety, Sue?
Again, under committee reports.
Okay. And then and administration? Thank you. And receive and file, Sue?
Warrants 13G, 13C, 13M, 13T, 14G, 14C, 14M, 14T. These are all bills that were presented and paid over the last 2 weeks, actually. Change of tenant, 1500 Vestal Parkway East, Suite 101. Clerk's office monthly report for March was also received.
Thank you. We don't have any petitions or protests. We don't have any old business, but we do have new business. So 16.1 is a resolution authorizing Scott Groats, Water Wastewater Superintendent, to advertise on April 13th, 2026 for bids for the 2026 concrete tank rehabilitation. Bids to be opened on April 30th, 2026. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Sue. And Matt, would you second? Thank you. So any discussion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. And the next one is 16.2, which is a resolution for the town board to approve college tuition reimbursement for Officer Tabor. The total cost of reimbursement being requested is $750 for the winter 2026 session. This should be reimbursed out of the police department's college tuition line, which is A3120-4033, which has been budgeted for the 2026 fiscal year. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
It's a tie. So Matt, and then Sue, would you second?
Yes.
Thank you. And any discussion? Just a note that it's contractual. And so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. And 16.3 is a resolution appointing the following volunteers to the emergency management team with the following designations. Dave Nicosia, Technical Specialist, Jeff Winchell, Operations Section Chief, Bill Lawler, RN AEMT, Technical Specialist, and Sasha Siegelman Schwartz, Planning Section Chief. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
And thank you, Robert. And seconded?
Second.
Thank you, Sue. Any discussion? Except to thank them for volunteering.
So,
Yes.
I just want to indicate that
Mhm.
all of the people that are being added are all volunteering. They're people that are experts in their field from all over, like Dave Nicosia, National Weather Service for ever and ever and ever, Jeff Winchell, operations, fire. So it's an honor that these people have volunteered to be part of our emergency management team.
Yeah, and we really appreciate all of our volunteers on the emergency management team because we have some incredibly skilled people. And, God forbid there's another major emergency, all of that kicks in. Everybody steps up and coordinates all emergency response, everything involved, and tries to help every resident. So I really want to thank them. I mean, it's a lot of time and effort, and we really appreciate it. So with that, can I have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. And then we go to 16.4, which is a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign a community beautification and environmental stewardship grant application for the purpose of establishing a butterfly garden in Mittendorf Park. If awarded, the expected town contribution will be approximately $200. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Robert. And seconded?
Second.
Thank you, Matt. And any discussion? And I just want to thank also Kurt on the Conservation Commission. who are all volunteers as well, they wrote the grant. And they are actually putting their own time and effort into making the butterfly garden in cooperation and with the help of our parks employees and also our park supervisor, Jeremiah Bernard, who's fantastic. So I really want to thank them for all their efforts in helping the town as well. Okay, so with that, all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Thank you, and it's carried. I made all the announcements. So we're gonna go to my announcements. So committee chair comments and updates. Sue?
Okay. So, finance report. Supervisors' reports are up to date. The 2025 independent audit preparing for annual financial reporting to OSC will be conducted by Dressler and Melicky LLP of Elmira, New York, to begin in late April and run through September. Grant reimbursement processes for various projects have now been completed. Under public safety, fire, the New York State annual spring burn ban is in effect from March 16 through May 14, prohibiting the burning of brush, leaves, and sticks to reduce wildlife risk. And I just want to point out, violation of the ban results in monetary fines, especially on days like tomorrow when we're going to have a high wind warning. The Vestal Fire Department provided an honor guard for the funeral of Chief Douglas Rose, a 50-year-plus member of the Vestal Fire Department, attended from many surrounding municipalities to honor his service to our community and surrounding communities. He was a mentor to many who will model his service and contributions for many years to come. EMS is operating smoothly. Please be sure that there is a pathway to your door so the EMS crews can quickly access the building in case of an emergency. Please move to the shoulder when emergency lights are flashing. Minutes saved are critical in terms of saving lives. The police would like to wish Officer Angeline the best of luck on his retirement from the Vestal PD after 20 years in law enforcement. Emergency Operations Center, the new personnel that were just added to the emergency management team will greatly broaden the depth of our Vestal EOC team. They will be introduced to the emergency management group in a training exercise that is currently in the planning stages.
Thank you. So does any other board member have any reports? Okay. So then we're going to move on to the last public comment section. So this is on general town topics. I just remind everybody of the rules. Please only speak regarding town business, and please be respectful of everybody, elected officials, town employees, members of the audience, and all other persons. We don't allow personal attacks. Please wait to be recognized. We do take residents before non-residents, but we do recognize everybody to speak. And when you get up there, please go to the podium because we do videotape everything so you can be on record. Then we ask that you state your name and address and you keep it to 3 minutes and brief to the point. We're going to ask you to speak in entirely and to address the board only. So does any resident wish to speak? Yes.
So two separate questions, two totally separate topics. First one, 9.3, the signing of the SAM grant application says, I think I remember correctly, either the past meeting or the meeting before, 500,000 would be used from the general fund over. And what I understand to be anticipation of grant monies, but this resolution says you haven't even applied for it. If I'm reading it correctly, because it says you're retroactively signing a grant application. So the way I'm reading it here, maybe I'm mistaken, that the application hasn't even been submitted, yet 500 has already been moved from the general fund to support these activities. So I'd like an explanation on that. And my second one was, even though it's not on the agenda, Monday, there was a general discussion about the historic Preservation Commission. There was a general discussion. And in that discussion, several of you brought up the land across from UP1, UP2. So I was trying to make the connection between topic on the floor and then bringing up of the land in relation to the conversation, like why, what does that land which you have, you meaning the town has a conservation easement, I thought the agreement here, and I've read it about 100 times. So you're the holder. So why is the holder of the property bringing up that property, that discussion of the property in relation to a topic that seems to me to be irrelevant, which was the personnel involved in who you appoint, how you appoint, the language in the local law versus state law, you were discussing all that, but what does this parcel of land have to do with that topic of conversation? Because it was brought up and I couldn't make the connection between the property and the discussion of the Reservation Commission, so to speak. So I just thought that was odd. So I could have a kind of connect the dots between why that property was being brought up in relation to this conversation. So that was my question on that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first one, the application was submitted in December. So we submitted 2 applications for 2 grants in December, and one hit a resolution and one didn't for some reason. The board talked about it, the board discussed it, the board agreed to it. And for some reason, the resolution wasn't put on an agenda for some reason. And so there are 2 grants that are expected. The money was transferred over, and we're going to wait until we get the go ahead and know that we're going to have the money in hand before we spend that money. But we are set whenever they tell us it's okay. But the application was actually made in December. There was an oversight in terms of the actual procedure, but the application was submitted, it was confirmed, and it was every place it was supposed to go, acknowledge that they received it and it's in process. And, when we get the go ahead, then we're going to proceed to spend the money, but we want to make sure that we have it in hand first. And the second one was the conservation. We were talking about a local law, about the Historic Commission, which is not on the agenda for tonight. And that is, you're referring to the Rivercrest District, which is a historically designated location. However, there's a whole long story involved, but basically, the houses in that area go back to 1932, and it is unique in that it was built as a development at that time. So there was some controversy because some houses were up for being demolished, and the local residents there were, and please forgive me if you live there and I'm not getting it right, but they were very upset because they were afraid, most of all, not only to lose the houses, but to have the possibility of having something commercial built next to them that's not consistent with what they want. So it went through a lot of, and we talked about some details on Monday. So it went through a procedure and the Historic Commission considered it. The local residents requested that they seek landmark designation, hoping to protect the area. Ultimately, it got appealed to the town board, and the town board, my understanding is, it was way before my time, but that the houses were mold infested and could not be saved. So now a lot of the buildings had been destroyed, and they no longer constitute what was the original historic designation. So the state says it just doesn't constitute what it's supposed to be. And the residents in the area are protected because, number one, soon after that occurred, the town board at that time, they rezoned the area so you couldn't build a huge commercial property there. And then after that, they actually made the area next to it a conservation property, so it won't be developed at all. So it will be quiet and good for the residents. So you could see all the steps. We went through the whole history, and I did a whole research because we want to understand like how this occurred. But now it kind of comes down to, we know that the residents are protected, their lifestyle, everyday life is protected, but it really doesn't meet this criteria anymore. And the state says it doesn't meet the criteria. And that's how it got brought up in the whole conversation with the local law. But most of all, we're 100% sure the residents in the area would be okay, whether it was historic or not, because their everyday life is going to be fine. And in fact, it's going to be quieter than it did before the whole thing began. So that's the only thing I was brought up. Does any other resident wish to speak?
Madam Supervisor, can I
Yeah.
just interrupt for a minute?
Absolutely.
I left two departments out of my committee chair.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry. We'll go back. We'll come back in a second.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
I apologize. Clerk's office tax season has officially ended and all went smoothly. The farmer's market is getting ready to start up in May. More information will follow at the next month's meeting. Recreation. The annual Town of Vestal Easter egg hunt was held on Saturday, March 28 at Arnold Park at 11 a.m. On this cold and sunny day, approximately 1,200 people joined us to join in the fun. Vendor registration for the Vestal Festival to be held on June 6th is still open. Please contact the Recreation Department for more details. Please check the Town of Vestal Recreation website for the summer recreation flyer. There are still openings for T-ball, which begins on April 30. The first spring hike at BU Nature Preserve will be held on April 25 at 10 a.m. Pre-registration is required, but the walk is free of charge. Thank you.
Thank you. So a resident wanted to speak? Yes.
Hi, folks. I'm Lewis Jones. This is Fikret Adidek. He's at 401 Karen Street, Karen Ave. He has a crushed sewer pipe that's 1 foot off of the main, the main sewer main. We had DPW come out and they indicated that would technically fall under the homeowner's responsibility. We understand that policy. But because this failure is essentially at the connection point and located in the street rather than the home, we felt it might fall under some sort of unusual circumstance worth further review. We've scoped it. We've had a couple of different plumbing organizations come out and take a look at it. But yeah, we had DPW come out as well. So we videoed it. We have that here if you'd like to look at it. And a couple of pictures where DPW came out and marked where the main is and where the break is. That's like 1 foot away. With that type of project is quite costly because, involving the DOT, shutting the road down, and it's 8 feet down. It's quite a ordeal, and if it was under the sidewalk or something, yeah, definitely homeowner responsibility. But we'd like to ask the town to maybe look into that. I mean, it's actively leaking, in some of that video footage, we see that. So that just we wanted to let the town know that in case that would do anything to the infrastructure.
We have no problem looking at it again. Have you spoke to, it can't be a back and forth, but if you wait afterwards, I'll be glad to go over it with you and I can talk to our water superintendent.
Yeah.
And we can go over the details and we can discuss it with him.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's 401 Karen, right?
Yeah, 401. Right? Yeah.
Talk to you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so any other resident wish to speak? Yes. We'll get to non-residents in a minute.
Hi, everyone. My name is Beth Dutcher. I live in Binghamton, Broome County resident. I'm back here today to talk about the lack of mental health care and public safety. A few weeks after Eslam Hegassi was shot 7 times in the chest while experiencing a mental health crisis, an armed man from Kirkwood was taken into custody unharmed after an hour-long standoff with police in an Endwell apartment complex. Now, how does a man with a gun and an outstanding warrant get into an hour-long standoff with police and remained unharmed? Why is this country safe enough for an armed white unregistered sex offender from Kirkwood to get his day in court, but not safe enough for a brown man from Vestal having a mental health crisis to get the mental health care he so desperately needed and deserved? Why isn't our country safe enough for Daniel Prude, a Black man from Rochester, New York, who was experiencing an acute mental health crisis when his family called 911 for help. Mr. Prude was naked on a public street but posed no danger to anyone. Nevertheless, the Rochester police responded in force, handcuffed him, placed a hood over his head, and held him face down on the cold pavement until he stopped breathing. Daniel Prude was mocked and treated cruelly by officers that did not understand the needs of a man experiencing an obvious mental health crisis. He deserved care and dignity. Instead, he died. Now, the goal isn't to dehumanize the armed man from Kirkwood. It's for everyone to have the same rights and be treated with dignity. I read a quote today that said, "Every system that has ever failed us was built by people, which means every system can be rebuilt by people too. If it's not our responsibility to change what isn't working, then whose is it? Are we really going to leave this world for our kids and our grandkids to fix when we know what the problem is?" Every single person here knows that when I said an armed man in Kirkwood survived a standoff with police, that he was white. Everyone knows that. It's a given. And we say we're nothing like our ancestors. Well, when are we going to prove it? When are we going to actually do something? You know, let me go back to what I wrote. New York State launched a task force to generate solutions to prevent tragic outcomes like what happened to Daniel Prude in Rochester. Their work led to a legislation named in Mr. Prude's memory, Daniel's Law. That's what we need implemented here in Broome County. So if the fear is that it's too hard, it's too much work, the work has already been done for us. All we have to do is act.
Okay, would any other resident wish to speak? Okay, are you a resident?
The last person wasn't a resident. She's a resident of the town of Bingham.
Oh, then I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to talk about the First Amendment to the Constitution and how this board, under the color of law, has went after me on numerous times. It's not a one-off issue, but you've engaged in viewpoint discrimination here multiple times. You've gone so far as to stop the meeting, adjourn the meeting, rather than let me have my 3 minutes of commentary. So I will be speaking for 3 minutes, regardless of any stunts, regardless of any rude interruptions that you want to make to try to throw me off track. I'll be speaking for another 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So last meeting, I was talking about a postcard that went out at New York State taxpayer expense with the supervisor's picture on it. It was sent out by Leah Webb. And the irony of it is that Leah Webb claimed a stolen valor tax exemption, 2 of them, on her property, on her McMansion that is now being foreclosed upon. It was irony to me to see this veteran and see Maria Sexton and Leah Webb in the picture when for 2 months and 10 days, Leah Webb had got not 1, but 2 veterans tax exemptions and has made no effort to pay it back. That's the kind of public service gaming that is going on. And that was abhorrent to me. Now, the Matthews family owns this government. It owns this government lock, stock, and barrel. They can do whatever they want to do. And you might as well change the name to Matthewsville, since they are allowed to do anything and everything they want to do. That's the power and that's the influence that one family, who, by the way, has engaged in some of the biggest bankruptcies in Broome County's history. But I guess you support bankruptcies because you had a town supervisor, and again, I was interrupted at that meeting. You had a board member of this board that declared actually the biggest bankruptcy in the town of Vestal that year. And you did nothing to stop it. You stopped me, though. You stopped me from bringing it up. Isn't that something? That shows the character here. And that shows the way these meetings are being mismanaged. So I have 12 seconds. I wish you luck. But more importantly, I wish that you stop your tyrannical abuse of the First Amendment.
Anybody else like to speak, ma'am?
Hello, my name is Gay Knopf, and I am currently a resident of Endicott, but I'm a former resident of Vestal. And I'm here today to ask you to consider the actions the town could take to avoid future tragedies such as that suffered by Mr. Islam Hegassi and his family. Although this happened in Vestal, similar events have happened across the nation. I live across the river in Endicott, and I'm painfully aware that this kind of thing could happen anywhere, including there. Okay, so how can we avoid this? It would be prudent to invest more in mental health services to assist families struggling with that. All too often, simply calling in law enforcement leads to violence and death. I don't believe that harm is the intent of any of our officers. However, they do not have training in mental health crisis, and it seems somewhat improper to expect them to be in the business of mental health services. But there are organizations and doctors that do have such training. One of those is the local Mental Health Association of the Southern Tier, or MHAST. I suggested the town engage with them to make arrangements for mental health first responders. They already have a mobile crisis program, and on their website, they explain what that is. They deliver person-centered, trauma-informed services that promote resiliency, rehabilitation, and recovery. And they also have, they're also starting a new program called the Supportive Crisis Stabilization Center that will be a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year program to help individuals of any age experiencing a crisis related to mental health. So I'm going to leave you with a piece of paper that has their phone number and their website address. I think these programs could be built upon to serve our municipalities and avoid harm to people in crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. So just, actually, I just heard I believe the county is actually looking at a program. It's going to be a county program. I don't know any details. I was looking to find out what exactly they're planning on doing, but they do wish to address it. So I do really suggest you reach out to the county and ask them, and maybe they can give you some details about what they're thinking of. So would any other person like to speak?
Hello, my name is Jeremy Rounds. I'm from the town of Windsor. I'm here on behalf of Dave Bailey. We're the Grave Geeks. That's what we consider ourselves. Dave lives near the Tracy Creek Cemetery. We were just in a newspaper this past Sunday, and he saw the thing, and he called us to ask about, you know, fixing up the cemetery. Yesterday, or not yesterday, Monday we went up. We spoke with Dave. So, you know, the cemetery is in rough shape. I found out it is owned by the town, I do believe, at least. And we would need permission from the town. Now we have some I have some family that I'm around, so I do have some family that is there. So I can clean their stones and repair them. My friend Mac also has some family there. So, you know, but we'd like to show how to clean, repair, We get that cemetery back to a nice cemetery again. But we would need permission from the people that own it, because we don't, other than our families. So we are doing a workshop for the Historical Society, hopefully, at the Vestal Park Cemetery with so we've done classes at other places. We're gonna do like a cleaning and possibly a repair class at the Vestal Park Cemetery for some older stones in that cemetery. And we're a national organization, or part of a national organization, I should say. And just a little bit of positivity. We want the neighbors showed interest in the cemetery, and we're very interested. That's I did talk to one other neighbor, and he was like, "Oh, if you do something, let me know. I'd love to help." So hopefully we can spur a little bit more community involvement. We did this on Chrysler Road Cemetery in the town of Endicott, and I mean, people walk by, oh my goodness, it worked. It's amazing because it goes from falling over stones to straight up and down, nice, clean, white stones. So I thank you for your time, and hopefully we can speak on the 20th.
So thank you. I thank you very much for coming this evening. I think, yeah, our museum director actually told me about the event that you're planning on doing. It sounds fantastic. We love to speak to you more, and I think you're going to come. We're scheduling you to come into the work session where we can actually have a discussion with the board, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I just was coming to put a face on ourselves. It's always good to put your face out there.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank
It's
you.
wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, great. So we'll take the information out.
Have a paper to everybody.
And we're gonna leave that for now, but come up afterwards and we'll finish the conversation, okay? Thank you. And then we'll see you the next work session as well. Thank you. Does any other member, any other person? Yes.
I'm Dave Bailey. I live at 659 Ridge Road, and I got in contact with these guys, and I saw the article in Sunday's paper, and I was, wow, these guys actually care about cleaning up, fixing up the cemetery. And I've lived on Ridge Road for about 21 years, and there's been at least 4 occasions where cars come down and they don't stop because of the snow, and they go right into and they park right into the cemetery, literally knocking over stones. And right now, one of the gates that on the south side of the cemetery is split into 2 locations. It's damaged. You can't even open it. It was laying on the ground. There's about a half a dozen tombstones that are tipped over, broken, smashed. So I highly recommend the grave geeks to go get permission, not only at this cemetery, but all the cemeteries that in the town of Vestal, if they can get it like a blank check. And I'd be interested in helping clean up the one that's down my street, the one on Tracy Creek. So, okay, that's all.
Well, thank you very much as well. And we'll talk to you more. Okay, does any other member of the public wish to speak?
Hi, my name is Bob Wilson. I worked in Vestal for 15 years. I currently live on the south side of Binghamton. I'm here to add my voice to the chorus demanding justice for Eslam Higazi, Vestal resident who was shot by the Vestal police when experiencing a mental health crisis on 2/25/26. We not only demand support and funding for trauma-informed community public health-based crisis response and diversion, and Daniel's Law, as you've already heard, which would create teams of peers, individuals with lived mental health experience, and EMTs to be the primary responders for these health emergencies when police are not required. We also want to for the body cam footage to be released, for the names of the officers involved to be released. We want to know why MHAST wasn't dispatched there to begin with, the mobile response team. And we want justice for
Hey,
Eslam.
Put the sign down. Put the sign down. You're out of order. Sir, were you finished speaking?
I'm not a sir, and what's the problem with the sign?
Okay, ma'am, you're out of order. So, sorry, I didn't.
So can I ask
Okay.
why she's being held as being
Okay.
out of order when Solak can come up here and spout his
Statements,
garbage?
anything
Yeah,
else
that was my
besides-
question. I just asked it.
Okay, thank you. As we've said with every meeting, ma'am, put the sign down. Ma'am, put the sign down. You're out of order. You have to follow the rules of the meeting. So okay, with that, no board member or myself or anybody is allowed to speak until the investigation is over. At that point, there will be statements and okay, with that, okay, you're out of order with that. So with that, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Can I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Sue, and seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you, Robert. And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. And it's carried.